Listen up. You are now listening to News with My Fiancé with DJ Ambush and Morgan Jones.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Especially good morning to John, who beat us to the intro.
Good morning, John.
John said, yeah. Turn out for what?
Ah!
Yeah. So
Little John made it to the big leagues. Okay? Am I coming in hot?
No, you're not. You're not.
It looks real loud. Little John was okay. Little John was a part of the DNC opening night, or was it the second night?
I think it was the second. I think it was the second night. I'm almost positive it was the second night.
Okay. I had a couple of people say to me, like, those people in there don't even know who he is.
Mm.
And I had to say, like, let me remind you that those songs were in every movie, in every commercial.
Facts.
In all over the place. Like, they may not know him with short blonde locks, but they definitely know every single one of those songs.
Absolutely. Lil Jon and the East Side Boys
Indeed
have been rocking the clubs for many a year. Yeah. I did not recognize him immediately. His clothes were trimmed, slim, fitting.
Fitting? Okay.
And then, the locks were, when's the last time I've seen Lil Jon? I don't know. He could have been looking like this for the last 5 years. I have no idea.
Right.
But it was like, okay, John, all right. I see what's happening here. You're killing it.
Well, yeah.
So thank you, our John, Fiancé John, bringing up Lil Jon. We will be discussing the Democratic National Circus at some point today. We will be getting there. Oh, man. But yeah, it's been a week. This is our first Thursday following our first Monday from our live broadcast. Thank you to everybody that tuned in for that.
Monday Night Raw, live, in person, live, raw.
Boom.
Are you with the title, fiancés? Are you with it? We need to make a distinction. It's at night, Can't say Monday Night Raw only because that's the WWE.
Right.
But big, humongous shout out to Kyle and Jess for showing up, being there.
Yes.
Helping run that production.
Yes.
And
to Michelle and Ross helping us with production remotely.
Definitely. And we've already got some changes in the works, some fixes, if you will.
Updates.
Those first couple of streams will be interesting. And then, once we get rolling, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. But for anyone that didn't catch it, we do have some shorts that are up on YouTube. We put a couple clips on Instagram, and the full episode is on our podcast. So if you've already subscribed, then you should have got that notification. Kyle uploaded it yesterday. But yeah, that was dope. Really looking forward to being able to engage with you guys there live, raw, in person.
We're going to have to figure out I don't know how to get in the chat. Like, I want to
be a part of the chat.
I want to be a part of the chat. I want to chat about. Chat back.
Okay.
So there's that. Yeah. That's a production note. We can do that later. Also, hi, it's 7:38 and I'm not seeing the normal text messages I would. So just saying, good morning. How are we?
Second good morning.
Yeah. So, Ambush PDX Hip Hop Week.
Yeah.
On its way.
Yes, we are in PDX Hip Hop Week right now. I know we've been talking about No Request a lot on here, and we have our day party, our first day party coming up this Sunday at White Eagle. Myself.
Sunday.
Myself and the one DJ Cliff doing No Request like we normally do. So we have the day party from 12 to 5, and that day party will be featuring Rev Shines, Mellow C, It's Sean Mick, DJ Tempo. We're going to have vendors out there, apparel vendors, record vendors. It's going to be pretty dope right outside, all ages. And then from 6 to 9 inside, our normal No Request party, myself and Cliff. But there are many things to look forward to throughout this week. You can head on over to pdxhiphopweek.com and check it out. There are a bunch of sanctioned events, including Hip Hop Wine and Chill tonight at Abbey Creek. So shout out to DJ OG1 and his team. They have been, doing PDX Hip Hop Week for a minute. Shout out to Star Child as well. The Star Awards are also Sunday night after No Requests, I believe, at Alberta Abbey. And my history and time here, there was a short overlap between what I was doing in the hip hop community and the legacy that Star Child and the legacy of work that Star Child and OG1 were able to accomplish here. So really, really honored to be a part of it, honestly. Also, forgot about this. I don't know how, because I'm really, really honored and excited for this to be happening. Versatile is doing his single release with us.
Woo!
at No Request on Sunday night. So
Portland's very own. So yeah, man. PDX Hip Hop Week. It's it's an exciting time. I just wish there were more of me. Wish I had my clone machine working so I could be at some more of these events. Not the clone machine.
Yeah, that thing's been on the fritz since I bought it. I've never successfully cloned this single ambush. Yeah, waiting on parts.
I'm gonna not say what I was gonna say. But we got a text that says, hi, see y'all Sunday. I'm gonna come out for my birthday. I cannot wait to see you, AJ.
Hey.
When is the actual birthday? I think I did this last year too. Is it Saturday?
AJ's birthday?
Yeah. No, I'm asking her. So, yeah. I need to get it in my calendar so that I know the actual date.
Yeah.
Because she and I both keep doing birthday celebrations days or weeks after your birthday. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know the actual date.
Yeah, that's true. Y'all be busy birds.
Yeah, man.
Michelle hit us with a good morning.
Good morning, Michelle.
She heard the call.
Well,
you were like, it's 7:38 and I'm not seeing any action.
Yeah, I just needed to know she was there. That's really it.
It's neat to know.
Oh, we got another one. Okay, see, this is Ambush. You got to put the call out, Hi, This is Jorah Nones. Good morning. I hope you both are having a great day. Clone those parts. Good morning.
Morning, Jorah. Oh, AJ said it passed 16.
Oh, see what I mean?
Yeah, no, gotta get it in the calendar, man.
It's all month. Okay, all right. Before we get too far into, I think we have talked about this. Well, not I think. I know for sure we have talked about this before, but a reminder, and maybe for the first time for some of y'all hearing, X-Ray is raising funds to buy the Signal 107.1 by September, which is tomorrow.
Definitely.
So we've been operating on this for nearly a decade, and thanks to a 10-year lease from the license owner, luckily That lease includes a right to purchase the license as long as we do it before the lease expires, which is September 2024. I know you're like, how much is a license? How much is a signal? Well, with the necessary legal fees to transfer ownership, it's going to be around $135,000.
Mm-hmm.
120 of that is just for the license itself. And since this price was set in 2014, it's nearly 500% below the current market rate, which is a thing that I just keep looking at. If that blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what? Anyway, you guys can help us buy the signal by giving to the campaign today. We're trying to hit a goal of $10,000 by tonight. And that is not Morgan's or Ambush's. Like, the goal is really 1 or 3. And we're saying 3 million. The goal is really 10,000 tonight. And if we hit that, we'll be much closer to the goal.
Yeah.
Just about almost 10K off of the goal. So we need a total of 135. We're getting close.
Yeah.
And there's a match for 2,500 up to 2,500 today.
Right.
So if you can't give, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell the friend there's a match. This is the kind of thing that keeps a station being able to sustain itself, you know, and have assets, which is a really big deal for community radio.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to continue to be on that signal, continue to, you know, broadcast as many places as we can. And it really is just a really amazing opportunity to be able to purchase that at that price. So anything you can do. But if you're like, Morgan, you know how hard it is for me to decide right now? You know how hard it is to come up with a decision, like how much should I give? Let me tell you, one of the easiest ways to handle that is do $107. You know what I'm saying? 107.1.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
Look at that.
Again, there's a match up to 2,500. Today's the day.
Right. Right.
And I do really mean today's the day.
Today is the day. Talking about the station having assets and creating stability, it's really important, right? It's really important as we're watching not just media conglomerates, but conglomerates across many different industries. Just we're watching these things happen and watching the, you know, smaller businesses and the little man getting pushed out all over the place. In this information age, battling for ears and eyes is extremely important. And with X-Ray's mission being pretty clear in making sure that independent thoughts, independent voices have a place, and they're not, you know, battling, they're not, you know, worrying about what the advertisers want, what mainstream media would want.
Right.
That's not the issue here, you know. So look at it as an investment in community, an investment in yourself and the things that you want to hear and see and how you want your community to be shaped. Because I'll say this, when we had our production meeting, was that last week with some of the volunteers for the show, one of them said that the show gave them a sense of community. And I came away from that. I remember me and Morgan talking about it, and I think I did mention it in the meeting. Like, it does feel good, not just getting the text messages from you guys, but hearing that we're having an impact on you as well, where you don't feel so alone in your thoughts and you don't feel so siloed when you're out there in the world. There are other people that agree with you and that want to see change and want to see progress. And you don't get that. You don't get that without an X-Ray. You don't get that without independent radio. You don't get that without a project like this. Yeah. So it's really important. It is really, really important. I'm sorry, I kind of got lost in my words there because it means a lot to me.
It's getting choked up, guys.
Getting a little choked up. But yeah.
I just want to add that to that statement of it feels like a community. It does feel like that for us as well. And in the same way of not feeling so siloed and so sort of out here on our own, thinking about ways to make things better and how to critically think about what's happening out here. And no, I don't mean, Joe Rogan's version of thinking critically.
Jamie,
why does the internet lie?
Can you pull up thinking critically? Everyone's using that.
It really is just absolutely amazing to be able to be in community with y'all. And I love every single second of it. Cannot wait for more.
Yeah.
And shout out to X-Ray for continuing to have us.
Real talk. Real talk. More.
X-Ray. Now.
Yeah.
We saw something the other night. I think it was a clip of Cornel West speaking. And behind him, there were a bunch of signs that said "Abandon Harris." And I believe this put you in a place.
It did.
And I'm going to tell you guys, we have not actually talked about this. So I don't know what Ambush is about to say.
Yeah.
But I know he was fired up. And that's always an interesting moment. So I'm gonna shut up and sit back and listen.
It's always an interesting moment.
It is. I love it when you get fired up.
Yeah. Cornel West. I watched Cornel West over the years, and I think some of the feelings that I'm having for him now, unfortunately, mirror some of the feelings I started to have for Jesse Jackson and some of our elder statesmen in the struggle that kind of get to a place where the thinking is no longer as effective, the strategies are no longer as effective, but you still hold a very prestigious spot within political thought, especially on the left. I'll give an example of what happened with Jesse. One of those being during the protest down in Ferguson, Jesse showed up, Jesse pulled up, and everyone was hyped. We're all excited. Like, this is a civil rights leader. He has been there through a lot. Now Jesse is on the scene. And he showed up and started asking for donations.
To what? For himself, or what do you mean? For
himself, for whatever new thing he was doing at the time. And immediately it felt super grifter. And the protesters on the scene were like, this is not, I'm not sure what you thought you pulled up to, but this is not it. This is not the move. We expected you to hop out the car, hop on a microphone and get us going here. You came out here with your hand out. So, not that Cornel is doing that. I'm just saying it just felt like, whoa. So again, Abandon Harris. Cornel and some protesters are at the DNC, and they had the Abandon Harris signs out there, and he's talking about, I think they did some rallying and some marching outside. And the issue I have with the Abandon Harris thing is just that, making this about Harris's policy on Palestine. It's not just her policy, it's that of her opponent and damn near every president since this began. It has been American foreign policy. It's the way our government has decided they want to handle this. It's bigger than any one candidate. And I'm sorry if that feels like too much to take on. But guess what? That's what revolutions feel like. Pontificating from podiums and Instagram feeds only gives you a shot at receiving what your oppressors feel comfortable with giving you. Everyone is sharing memes and got flags in their bios. And how is this any different from the Black Lives Matter stickers and pride flags? These are masks meant to make us feel like we're doing something that we aren't. Convincing ourselves that we have agency where we don't. Portland sends money to Israel. What are we doing about that? We're not even putting the full court press on our own city council candidates, and we expect to have sway with what happens at the top of the empire. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Just say it bothers you, but it's not as serious as your living check to check, or your health insurance, or the rising grocery prices, or our national houselessness crisis. That works for me. You know, hey, Ambush, I'm not sure how much fight I have left in me because I can barely breathe right now. Guess what? That's the majority of us right now. And it's relatable, and it's real, and it's on purpose. Why can't we see that right here in Portland, Oregon, that a few people have decided to make life miserable and damn near insurvivable for us? What are we willing to do about it? How far are we willing to go? Local government has as much to fear from its constituents as does our national leaders. In both cases, they're pushing unpopular policies at the behest of the rich. And until we're willing to change that, we're cosplaying. Until we start doing the bare minimum of making sure our local leaders feel the pressure of not representing our communities, then any and all attempts at the top are a fantasy. But back to Cornel West and this abandoned Harris thing. Abandon Harris and then what? Abandon Harris and then what? Does that save Palestinian lives? Y'all not tired of sending a message every 4 years? I am. I'm tired of hearing leftists and progressives run their mouths for engagement, stirring up people's emotions without providing viable strategies. I'm over it. We need clear answers so we know who we're dealing with and develop a course of actions based on that data from our governor, senators, congresspersons, city council candidates, mayoral candidates, judges, executive directors, branch managers. Where do you stand on the humanity of the Palestinian people? Where do you stand on the ceasefire? Where do you stand on their schools, places of worship, and hospitals being bombed? What do you plan on doing or saying about it? And if that answer is the wrong one, if there's a hesitation without a sensible explanation, then that's the last day that they get to be comfortable in their leadership position that they hold in our community. These people aren't fit for leadership. If we aren't willing to put down our phones and do something about it, our complaints aren't worth the breath we use to utter them. We're not even holding ourselves properly accountable. This is much like any other moment, right? A critical one. And I'm tired of seeing things that I'm tired of seeing the gestures. I'm tired of sending the messages. We're sending messages to a party, to oppressors that are not even in the conversation with us. Who are we messaging to? At what point does the messaging just turn to action? At what point do we just say, this is enough? It's a wrap. So as much as Cornel West's abandoned Harris and him going from the Green Party to the People's Party and other things that have happened in recent times have angered me, especially because of the platform that he has. It's no different in some ways. There's similarities to seeing what we see on shows like The Breakfast Club, seeing what we see on CNN, how different things are platformed that are misdirection, that are distractions, that make people feel good in the moment, and ultimately are accomplishing nothing. It is accomplishing nothing in the wake of terror being carried out both domestically and on foreign soil. And I do understand the ability to, or the sense of feeling good and reacting in those moments, having that rage and not knowing exactly where to place it, having that anger, having that despair and not knowing exactly how to place it. And you post that meme, you feel a little bit better. And then we just keep scrolling. I get it. But we got to be real about what type of impact that we're expecting to have if that's the pinnacle of our activity. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. All right.
Bang, bang.
All right.
Well, I will say that the Abandon Harris campaign is the same as the Abandon Biden campaign. They've just, switched. So it's not out of the blue, it is an existing movement that has changed the candidate since they have changed the candidate.
Yeah.
And it's 8, so I don't know if I should even move forward.
I'll run it through real quick. You're listening to X-Ray FM at KXRY Portland at 91.1 and 107.1 FM. And then the Halen, Wheeler, Manzanita, and Rockaway Beach at 91.7 FM, streaming online everywhere at xray.fm.
Yeah.
Oh. I should just let you finish. You lost your spot.
I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot to swirling through my head there. So we can move on for now, and if I can put it together, we can bring it all back.
All right.
Yeah.
So today in national news, we are definitely going to talk a little bit more about the DNC. Morgan was inspired by Oprah's speech.
Oh, what?
This is just giving them a little preview.
Oh. Inspired isn't the word I would use. I mean, she hit us with every Oprah-ism. Dude. She hit us with all of them.
She went full Oprah.
Yeah.
She went full Oprah.
Kamala Harris. That's pretty funny.
Yes. Well, she was like, I'm following Little John. I gotta do my thing.
I gotta do the most.
I gotta shut it down. The whole internet's talking about Little John. I gotta come through.
Well, she probably nailed it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited for the local news.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the Portland's camping ban gaining momentum and the sheriff's support. And boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy.
And Portland's Joint Office of Homeless Services reports significant increase in housing placements and shelter use. And we gonna see about that. Pretty excited.
Yeah. So we'll hop into a music break, and then we'll be right back with some more news.
Yeah. This is not like news, but I opened the Twitters, and they're the. I'm sorry. This is just so funny. The trending for you is a ad by Donald Trump, and it says Kamala Harris's dangerous policies are nothing to laugh about. And then there are 3 pictures of her laughing. And then it says, hashtag Comrade Kamala. Kamala Harris wants communism in America. Y'all.
I thought there was more coming. Not that that wasn't enough, because it sounds like it's on a roll. All the alliteration. I was like, okay, go on. What's next?
No, I don't have more. That is an ad. And I didn't realize. I did realize, but I didn't. I don't know. You can just pay for it, So it's like that's the number one trending thing right now is Comrade Kamala, but not really because it's just promoted. It's just paid for by Donald what's it? Donald J. Trump.
And this is on X, his buddy's platform.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So we do love when the BFF takes care of you.
Yeah. He hooks you up.
Yeah. And also there's this moment of Tim Walz's son was sort of sobbing and like excited.
Mm-hmm.
And so the right is making fun of him. And there's really nothing to like. Ann Coulter is like, talk about weird. If that's what you got, babes, we're going to have to go ahead and sit it down. Like, this isn't a thing. This isn't a thing.
Once you take Joe Biden out of the picture, like the stark contrast between the Trump campaign and the Harris campaign isn't just like hilarious. It's sad. Like, it's sad. It's like watching the kid that used to be the bully in 3rd grade, and now we're in 6th grade, and we're all the same height. But you're a lot less cooler now, and you're still coming with the same jabs from 3rd grade.
Bruh.
Comrade Kamala. Am I right, guys? And we're like,
I mean, what's amazing about that is...
Okay.
What?
Like, you know, we got Little John hanging with us at our lunch table. What do you guys, you guys are very uncool.
I'd be so happy if she was a comrade. We got a text
Right.
that says, LOL, those Trump workers writing Kamala attack ads, bless their hearts. They're really out here trying.
Oh, so
Michelle.
hard, Michelle. So hard.
Trying? But are they? Not a witty bone, not a funny, not a...
Yeah. I
The
think
fact that they're
hard.
yeah, they
too.
are. You're both right. What
It's terrible.
I just cannot. And the things that are really interesting to me is like trying to make fun of like actual sweet family moments as if you don't say that that's what's happening at your house. We know it's not.
That's your whole stick.
Yeah, but that's your whole thing. Like our whole, everybody loves everybody in their
sweet family.
all the things. When really it's just like keep sweet, right? Don't talk. Michelle said, fellas on the right, is it woke mind virus to love your father? Indeed.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the woke mind virus.
It absolutely is. How dare you be inspired by your dad?
Oh my
You know? Someone on here said, you know, like you'd never see Barron Trump do this. And one thing I don't don't care. You know?
Yeah.
It more than anything, Barron doesn't have an who's inspiring him?
Who's watching Barron? What are we paying attention
Donald
to
Trump,
for?
he cannot elicit these kind of feelings because he doesn't do anything real. Like, so yeah, you're not going to see any of his family members get choked up until there's, you know, someone's mad about the fact that the inheritance doesn't exist or something.
Until there's a new lawsuit.
It's just absolutely amazing. But, you know, so that's where we are. We're in the place of Comrade Kamala. What is funny to one more thing. She's a comrade because she wants to do communism, but she's also a thief who is stealing Trump's policies. So I'm gonna let y'all handle that because the math don't math, the sense don't sense. Is he a comrade? I mean, he's not, guys.
Isn't he comrades with Putin? Since when don't you love the Russian way of doing things?
Wow.
I'm just so confused. I'm confused at what they're actually trying to say. It's like trying to pull some thoughts out of them. I hear what you're saying, Donald, but what do you mean? Because 5 minutes ago you said this, and that contradicts what you're saying now. And and then what you just said contradicts everything. What do you? I
mean, that's the thing.
I'd rather him just get up on the podium and say, "Hey guys, I need you to rally because we're going to lose."
Well, he can't say that. It is pretty funny to see him like so low energy right now, and he's just like not really there, you know, and he's reading off of the teleprompter, and then he tries to riff it a little bit, and then he's like, I'm back, and goes back to the teleprompter, and all of it's just very, you know, womp womp. Not even the base is getting energized. No. They're just standing around like, this doesn't seem like the same guy I used to.
No, you're right. He does. It's interesting watching him get lost up there. He's like, oh, Kamala.
I mean,
Kamala. They call her Comrade Kamala. You know that?
Did you
just
know
said that 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, no one knew it.
Right. I came up with that. We know.
What gets me really frustrated is that this is the kind of stuff. I mean, plenty other things, but this adds to people not understanding what any political systems are, right. or economic systems.
Right.
They have no idea what they mean. And we already didn't know what they mean in America because we are only going to learn about capitalism and its greatness when it comes to, primary education.
Right.
Even though we're, all living under and dealing with, you are still being told there is promise. You are so close to, living somebody's American dream.
Yeah.
The problem is that, Kamala can't be a communist. Yeah, it's so ludicrous. She is a corporate Democrat. She is advisors from BlackRock right now.
Right now.
A communist? Now.
Yeah, the amount of mutuals they have is ridiculous. Dog.
The network overlapping like a...
Yeah.
So yeah, they just get to throw things out there. And I mean, that is what this is. And that is a Trump campaign. And we know that. And that is the right now. And we know that. It's still incredibly wild.
Yeah.
To hear someone be so wrong and be so convicted in it. Like, I'm so confident that I'm right now. Really?
Sorry to hear that.
Unfortunate.
Very, very unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Okay, we can move on.
Yeah.
What do you want to do first here?
Let's talk about camping ban. Yeah.
Jump right into it.
Yeah.
The city of Portland's camping ban, which had a rocky start, may see smoother implementation now that Multnomah County Sheriff Nicole Morrissey O'Donnell is on board.
Mm-hmm.
Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler and Sheriff Morrissey O'Donnell met Monday to develop a plan that encourages Portlanders living on the streets to accept local housing services while citing those who refuse. In a joint statement released Tuesday morning, the leaders emphasized their shared belief that connecting people with services and housing is the best strategy to address homelessness in Portland. They also acknowledged that for individuals who repeatedly refuse outreach services, the correction system might offer an additional intervention opportunity. Portland's camping ordinance bans tents and other objects that impact public property, such as sidewalks and parks, if a person has access to reasonable alternative shelter. To prepare for the ban, the city has developed temporary alternative shelter sites and safe rest villages throughout Portland. Under the ordinance, if someone living on the street violates the ban, police will issue a citation. Those who repeatedly refuse services could be booked into jail by the Portland Police Bureau, where they might be released with a court date and held in custody until their arraignment. From there, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office will offer shelter and services, helping those who accept them the transition at the time of their release. Quote, "This solution aligns with our shared goal of ending unsheltered homelessness in Portland in a compassionate and effective way," Mayor Wheeler said. Arrest and booking bring accountability for the small number of people who decline to follow the law despite repeated outreach and resource referrals. The plan will be tested over the next 120 days to determine if the approach is effective and sustainable. This agreement follows months of enforcement setbacks for the camping ban since it rolled out July 1st, during which Sheriff Morrissey O'Donnell initially refused to jail offenders, preferring citations and the court system. Mayor Wheeler recently told Coin6 News that law enforcement engagement has been rare because most people accept shelter when offered. Oh my word. As of Friday, August 9th, his office reported 7 citations and 11 referred sites among the roughly 4,000 camps addressed by the city last month. Sheriff Morrissey O'Donnell emphasized the balance between public safety and addressing homelessness, stating, quote, "This momentary intervention, reserved for repeat offenders, seeks to balance accountability with addressing the challenges our community faces, while also creating pathways out of homelessness." And I'm going to tell y'all this. Mm-hmm. Ted Wheeler has something on the sheriff, because it ain't no way that you came out here with your chest out saying, I'm not doing that because that is not it's not the law, number one, and it's not a solution. Ain't no way you came out here saying that with your chest and then go into a meeting and come back out talking about, well, you know, this is the best way to find a pathway out of homelessness.
There is a caveat in here. And I watched a couple of videos last night, some more news coverage on it. I can't remember the gentleman's name on Coin 6. He's always doing his little asides. Is what grinds my gears. But what grinded his gears about this specifically is that he said, even though Sheriff Morrissey seems as though she's come to the table, the way she plans on handling things doesn't necessarily have teeth in the way that she's not booking anyone to stay overnight. It's, I'm booking you, you be giving your citation. I am not, you're going to be in the booking process a couple of hours and you're back out. I'm not putting you in jail. That's not, she's like, we could do this booking. We can make sure that we're making some services provided, but it's like, that has to happen so many times. The whole repeat offender before they actually get incarcerated. So I highlighted those two quotes because the whole idea of calling someone who was houseless a repeat offender is wild.
You are a repeat offender of the poor. Okay.
Why don't you get it together? Just
too poor, too often. Too much all the time.
Last time I saw you, you didn't have a place to live. You're doing it again?
You're still here, not living inside somewhere?
I don't know what you want me to do. You just keep not having a place to live. We gotta lock you up for your own good. And then when he said, arrest and booking bring accountability.
Listen, I'm legitimately, I love this studio. I don't want to break anything in it, but very badly want to be violent. This is insanity. The idea that these are the words that they're using, bring accountability for the small number of people who decline services. But those services, resource referrals, are not services.
No.
That's literally a list of things people could do if they were available.
Right. And they're underfunded, so there's that.
Well, not only are they underfunded, we're too busy spending our money talking about putting people in jail.
Yep.
Instead of actually doing anything. And we're not ever going to pay attention to why people are homeless if we're going to talk about accountability for the people that are homeless.
It's so wild.
Like, be for real for once. You are the mayor. At some point, you have to have, like, one moment of clarity. You can't actually believe that we haven't done what they're talking about before. We have done this.
Right.
We know it doesn't work. We don't need another 120 days to see if it works. The sheriff already knows it doesn't work.
Right.
And if the plan is she's just like, okay, we'll arrest them and arrest and release. But they're not saying that out loud. This is another issue where then the DA is blamed for the thing that wasn't didn't even get to the DA. And people do not understand the process, the criminal justice process, period. So let alone throwing just this stuff at, I want everybody to understand that they are saying all of it. They're saying all of it. We plan to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
We plan to do absolutely nothing. And the fact that they said hold the homeless people accountable, but we can't take 2 seconds to find out what happened. And I don't mean, Kevin Dahlgren's idea of what happened. or Real PDX's idea, the fan fiction that they create as to what creates poverty. These are policy choices. We are choosing for people to be outside with destitute.
Yeah.
We are choosing that. We are deciding it's fine so that we can then spend money on cleaning it up and say that we did something about it. It's a racket.
Yeah.
And people are dying. And other people are shifting their ideology to go from what used to be, let's take care of each other, to get those people out of my face. I can't handle it. We are spending money on marketing instead of money for food for people. We are pretending as if we have open shelters for them right now. We are pretending as if we have places for them to go.
Right.
We are pretending as if we have the infrastructure for them to go through the criminal justice system right now. Every single time someone says arrest, whoever the journalist that they're talking to or authority that they're needs to say, where are the public defenders who are going to help these folks?
Right.
We cannot do that right now.
Right. It's almost like when they report on one thing, they move on to the next thing.
And they don't connect.
To the next thing. Right.
None of them connect.
No through line.
Right.
For the causality of why we're like, come on now.
So if we're not even going to talk about the causality of poverty, right? We're not even going to talk about why and how we're here. We absolutely have to continue to check them and fact check them on what their current solution is, which isn't a solution.
Right.
Not only is it not an actual viable solution, it simply isn't real. We do not have the things that we actually have to have in place in order to do any of the things that we're doing right now.
Right.
If you cannot provide a place for those people to go, how you cannot just displace them.
Right.
We do. Don't get me wrong.
Michelle said, ending unsheltered homelessness. Way to say the quiet part out loud.
Exactly.
Not even trying to end the root causes of homelessness, just the in our face part.
Exactly that.
Right.
Get it out of my face. I'm tired. I'm on my way to work, and this repeat offender over here just won't stop living by the freeway. I want y'all to really think it through. You think someone wants to live next to the freeway?
Next to the freeway.
I pay to live next to the freeway. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I cannot explain to you the environmental havoc, the sound, the air, living next to a freeway on-ramp is this is going to sound dramatic, but it is terror. And for someone like me, where certain sounds literally physically impact me, it's not something that I would ever purposely choose.
And you're in a house.
What I could afford.
You're in a house hundreds of feet away from the highway. With doors and windows that can be closed. Put on in the house and other
sound to dull it, and it doesn't.
Not a tent in the grass.
Exactly.
With the wind and rush of cars going by your tent. Like,
it's insanity what we're doing. We absolutely have the money and we decide to throw it at other things. And it is all connected. So when your leaders locally don't do anything about the homelessness here, you cannot at all expect them to care about the genocide they're funding. We're doing it here.
Yeah.
Economic cleansing, is that what we would call that? I mean, we simply do not care about poor people at a systemic level, so much so that we keep them there on purpose. And we do everything we can to make sure other people are still in a position of poverty, just so somebody else can feel better about themselves. Some mediocre person, some person who doesn't have half of the smarts as those the folks out there on the street. You don't have any idea what it takes to do that, to survive that. And your fix, I'm sorry, your fix is I'm just going to go to jail.
I'm repeatedly offended by your survival.
Ooh.
That's what's happening.
Ooh.
How dare you? I am repeatedly offended by your need to survive.
Another text from Michelle. Well, and if someone is unhoused and is actually committing other crimes repeatedly, what are the chances they're just in a sustained mental health crisis because our system stops at, quote, stabilize you and dump you on the curb? But that would be asking actual questions. Never mind, just handle it with jail. I mean, it's that. It's that. They want us to believe that the people that are homeless are homeless because they have made the choice to be an addict. And them being an addict may have put them in a mental health crisis. That's the only way they're giving you that. There is no reverse for them. There is no, I was a person, productive member of society, whatever you want people to be called.
Right.
Who lost their job, who has too much debt, who can't afford to live in this system and are now living outside, which is already a completely different way of life, right? That's a humongous life change. Mm-hmm. There's a lot you got to, I can't imagine the learning curve there. There's a lot you have to learn really fast without support. And our entire idea is just like, yeah, that'd be fine if it were me. Right. I'd just like go to the shelter and take a shower and get a job. As if there's no impact to your mental health from not sleeping, from being terrified all the time, from having to keep all of your belongings with you and have the idea that someone could try and take this from you at any moment. That kind of anxiety kills people.
And when you're at the point of your existence where all of your belongings, everything you own, everything that's precious to you, you can take with you, do you understand how much you've lost? Do you understand how much that person has lost? That the only thing that they have left, they have the ability to take with them. That's it. The rest of it's gone.
Well, and know this, that we will absolutely take that from them as well. So I just want to read this thing and I'll do my best to be quick, but this is from the Portland Reddit, and I don't know if any of you are in there like I am. This was really disheartening, and it definitely put me at, I don't know, 20 out of 10. But this was, I saw yesterday. It says, remember, folks, it's not jailing homeless people and making homelessness a crime. You're going to start hearing that a lot from the other side. It's jailing them for the destruction of our natural and public places, for dumping chemicals into our soil and rivers and turning the areas we live in and love into an open toilet. It's jailing them for destruction and theft of private property to fund their illegal drug use. It's jailing them for raping homeless women and abusing animals, a large amount of which goes unreported. It's jailing them for making our neighborhoods more dangerous and unsafe for families to live in, for bringing in crime and causing RV and tent fires. It's jailing them for thinking they are above tax-paying, law-abiding residents and taking advantage of our hospitality. It's time to take back Portland. I read something like that and I'm literally enraged. It's jailing them for the destruction of our natural and public places, for dumping chemicals into our soil and rivers. Where are those people? Where are the heads of the corporations that have absolutely destroyed our environment, that have destroyed our water quality, our air quality? Where are they getting locked up? Where are they being held accountable? Everything listed here is the equivalent of being mad at someone for not doing compost or sorting their recycling correctly, when none of that is the issue.
Nor do they have the ability to do it.
But even if they did, it wouldn't matter. The point is that these are literal industries ruining everything that we need to survive. And then we're going to blame the people that are the most victimized of it? Where have I seen that before? How does this keep happening? All of a sudden you care about women? Abused animals?
Please.
You don't want to do anything to talk about consent. You don't want to do anything to take away the patriarchal idea of what it is to be a man and what being a man means to women. Right? We cannot talk about any of those things. No, I don't mean we can't talk about it. I'm not like Tammy Lauren. I mean, we are unwilling to talk about the causes for these things, and we are only focused on the victims of systemic oppression. And I cannot imagine fighting for your oppressor so hard. I cannot imagine it.
Is it rewarding? Sheesh.
Like somebody felt real good. They patted themselves on the back. They told somebody else. They read this out loud to a spouse or a friend. Like, look what I did today. Jailing them for thinking they are above tax-paying, law-abiding residents and taking advantage of our hospitality. What?
Yeah, because that's
are you chat about? What do you mean? Someone who doesn't have money isn't above paying taxes. They literally don't have it. Do you have this ire for the million and billionaires who avoid paying their taxes all on purpose because they do, in fact, believe they are above paying taxes and they have, in fact, taken advantage of the hospitality? Where's the ire? Where's the upset? Where's that radicalization?
Right.
It's almost as if you don't understand the idea of what punching down is.
Or you do it so much, it's just part of your character, part of your psyche. It's just the way you live. It makes you feel comfortable.
You want your turn so bad to be Elon Musk.
Yep.
Or we can keep it on a even as much smaller scale. You want your turn to be Ted Wheeler. You want your turn to be a rich white man in power who can make decisions, not even if it goes through the way they want, right? But they want to be the ones that get to say the thing. You want to be in control. You don't have any knowledge, don't have any reason, any rational reason to believe that you should be. No evidence that says, you know how to fix this issue. And the reason I can say that confidently without even knowing who this person is that if you are willing to write something like this out, when the answer is glaring in what you wrote, you're unqualified to have the opinion you have.
Period.
It's really that simple. Jailing people for being poor will never get us anywhere. We have done this before. Why are people so hyped to keep repeating?
Why is that the housing of choice?
Fam.
Like, jail is the housing that you want to offer versus actual housing.
It's more expensive. Literally, actually, with the USDs, it's more expensive. You just want to be able to punish people for not doing what you're doing. Yeah.
For failing in your eyes, for failing to accomplish what you struggle to do every day, make your ends meet. Gotta punish them for it. Somebody said, if you think that's bad, you should try the Nextdoor app. Well, no, thank you. Bruh. Sickening. No, thank you.
Had to hop up off of that immediately. Oh, no. However many years ago that was. No. Was that during the Panini? I think it was. Yep. I joined it to see what was going on. Another text says they want to be a cop. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Hopped on, hop right back off. The Nextdoor app. No.
I said, oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We also, living in a historically Black neighborhood that has been gentrified beyond gentrification to read the things people would say, like scary young Black kid walking a dog. Terrifying.
That app left me repeatedly offended. I'll tell you that right now.
Michelle also said, horizontal violence at its best. Accountability is completely broken for the corporations and government leaders in power. But instead of actually taking action, let's just switch to blaming my fellow residents who can't pay the rent.
Right.
Exactly that. I want to flip a table right now.
All right. Don't flip no tables, B. Don't flip no tables.
I want to.
Get me a table stacked.
I'm not going to do
Just
it.
have one in the hallway. You could go out there and flip it. And then
We should
back.
do that. I need that, actually.
Like,
Ugh.
Go back in. All right. I think we should take a music break.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably smart.
Hop into this DNC story real quick.
BRB.
All right. We are back. Welcome back to News with My Fiancé with Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush. Woo. All right. Do we have any more texts we wanted to hit before we jump into that next story?
One says, calling jail an opportunity for intervention is going to haunt my nightmares. Same Z's.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I just don't know what to do. There's an okay. What in the world? Another one. I joined to find I think this is about next door. I joined to find my lost dog and had the same experience. Yeah. I mean, what happened to these people?
Right.
And one more. Good morning, fiancés. This Wednesday, the 28th of August, is my... let me start over. This Wednesday, the 28th of August, is my gal Harper's birthday.
Hey.
And even though she carries the X-ray tote bag she got for donating to this ding-dang show and not mine everywhere, I love her very much. And she's a devoted listener of News with My Fiancé. Happy early birthday, Harper.
Yeah.
What are our celebration plans? Where do we see you? Definitely need to celebrate Our Lady.
Yeah. And does Rudo have to be there?
I mean, probably not.
Okay.
Let's do it when he's doing his show. Good morning, Rudo.
That is hilarious.
Love you and Missy, by the way.
I wish they could have saw your face when you said that. It's like you made one of those like, and I'm up to no good. Ooh. Ooh.
Ha-ha.
Oh,
all right.
Goodness. All right.
We got like no time.
Let me get into some of this DNC action. So there were a bunch of things. I'm sure you've caught highlights throughout the week so far, different things that have happened. If you don't know, Pink is going to close out the DNC. I'm not sure if the John Legend performance happened at some point last night or if that's happening tonight. Oprah came through, Oprah at the place. And it's been a lot. But there were some interesting things that took place. Parents of American Israeli hostage make an emotional plea at the DNC, while the voices of Palestinian Americans were rejected. Just for anyone that thought that there was going to be a difference in policy here. The parents of Hirsch Goldberg Paulin, an American Israeli hostage, made a heartfelt appeal Wednesday night at the Democratic National Convention, urging for their son's return, John Paulin. And Rachel Goldberg described how Hirsch sought safety in a small bomb shelter during the October 7th retaliation at the Tribe of Nova music festival, where his left forearm was blown off by a grenade before he was taken to Gaza. Quote, "Since then, we live on another planet," Goldberg said, capturing the anguish and misery that they, along with other hostage families, are enduring. The couple wore pieces of tape with the number 320 written on them, symbolizing the number of days their son has been held hostage. The convention hall fell silent as they spoke, with many attendees visibly moved to tears. This is a political convention, but needing our only son and all the cherished hostages home is not a political issue, Ppl emphasized. Drawing applause from the audience, he commended efforts to negotiate a deal that could bring the hostages home and alleviate the suffering in Gaza. In an inflamed Middle East, we know the one thing that can most immediately release pressure and bring calm to the entire region. A deal that brings this diverse group of 109 hostages home and ends the suffering of innocent civilians in Gaza, Ppl said. While families of Palestinian victims have not yet been given speaking slots, the conflict has been mentioned by other speakers in passing. Pro-Palestinian protests have also taken place outside the convention, with more than 46 protesters arrested in Chicago on Tuesday after demonstrating outside the Israeli consulate. Abbas Alawi, an uncommitted delegate from Michigan, was visibly emotional as he shared news with reporters outside the United Center, where the Democratic National Convention is set to conclude on Thursday. We were hopeful because Vice President Harris's team was engaging with us, Alawi said. We just want to be heard. The uncommitted delegates who were selected in the Democratic primaries earlier this year represent a faction within the party protesting U.S. support for Israel. While President Joe Biden secured an overwhelming majority of primary voters, pro-Palestinian activists encouraged supporters to vote uncommitted in several states, resulting in 30 such delegates being sent to the convention out of the over 2,400 total delegates. Alawi expressed his frustration, calling it unacceptable that their request for a speaking slot at the convention was denied. We're not going anywhere before November, he asserted. You're not going to get rid of us. We're going to engage the system. Following the rejection, Alawi and 3 other uncommitted delegates initiated a sit-in outside of the arena in protest. The delegates also revealed that they had gathered signatures from nearly 250 Harris delegates in support of a ceasefire in Gaza. The ongoing war in the Middle East has been a central issue in a series of protests held outside the Democratic Convention this week, drawing significant attention to the party's stance on the conflict. Cook County, where Chicago is located, is home to the largest Palestinian community in the United States. The group of pro-Palestinian Democrats had hoped that a Palestinian-American politician will be allowed to speak critically about Israel's war in Gaza at the convention. However, a spokesman for the uncommitted national movement confirmed that their request was ultimately turned down. There was also a statement from Muslim Women for Harris and Walls. We cannot in good conscience continue Muslim Women for Harris and Walls. In light of this new information from the uncommitted movement, that VP Harris's team declined their request to have a Palestinian-American speaker take the stage at the DNC. The family of the Israeli hostage that was on stage tonight has shown more empathy towards Palestinian Americans and Palestinians than our candidate for the DNC has. This is a terrible message to send to Democrats. Palestinians have the right to speak about Palestine. We pray that the DNC and VP Harris's team makes the right decision before the convention is over for the sake of each of us. I watched the full speech from those parents, and they're right. There was certainly more compassion offered from those parents than we've seen from the current administration. But I don't know what more of a clear sign can be given to Palestinian Americans than to have them silenced at the DNC. I don't understand how they figured that would play, especially right after what we just sent Israel another $20 billion.
Mm-hmm. I think now you understand the abandoned Harris campaign maybe a little bit more.
It's not that I didn't understand it. It's just like you said, it's just changing the name. Abandoned Harris, abandoned Biden, like, I think I said it on, I don't know if I said this last week or on the Monday show. We have so many shows now. There's so many shows.
Okay. So many skews.
So many skews. I would never in a million years try to convince any Palestinian American to vote for Kamala. Vote for Biden. Vote. Vote for voting. Like, no. That was terrible. I couldn't believe it. When I saw that the story that this couple spoke, these parents spoke, I immediately was like, okay, all right. So then we're going to get some Palestinian parents. No.
Well, we were actually promised a Palestinian panel of Palestinian Americans and people that have been in Palestine, in Gaza, working the crisis in different capacities. So for that to not happen, and it kind of looked like it wouldn't be maybe like, main stage kind of vibes anyway. It was maybe a panel, a remote panel that would get piped in or, something like that. But for there not to be a moment for live in-person Palestinian people speaking about what is happening, that's a big, I don't know what else sign you need. And I don't think, I guess where you and I will, differ a bit in this is, I don't think you need to be Palestinian in any way to feel convicted in this.
Yeah.
Genocide is genocide is genocide. I don't need to be of the people being
persecuted,
murdered in order to understand that shouldn't be happening, and I don't want to fund it, and I don't want to support the people that do. And so these kind of moments where, Harris has done some things that sound, decent, said some things that sound decent. I mean, nobody else was going to do anything about the price gouging, I guess. We were just going to keep calling that inflation. There are good things she's been talking about. There's also, if you are not willing to say, I'm going to stop giving money to this genocide, I'm going to stop sending weapons, then I don't want to hear you praying for a ceasefire, because you're not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear the thoughts and prayers that you have for the people that are no longer. The amount of war crimes that Israel's government is doing is almost uncountable.
It's uncountable. Every single time it's like, again, a weapon or a chemical or a practice that is a war crime, they just did it again. It's like, what?
The kind of war crimes, like using weapons that have no business being used,
that disintegrate bodies, that
are actually disintegrating bodies. There's something like 1,700. They've given the figure that around 1,700 bodies have disintegrated because of the weapons that they are using. Some of those bunker busting bombs that hit the ground, and the point is the shock wave that goes out. It's been explained that can, depending on a person's body, so very much the young and the very old, can basically explode just from the shock wave of that thing. And we're like, have at it. Have some more. I'm sorry. I can't currently get past that to talk about inflation.
Yeah.
I can't currently get past that to talk about the things that, would be cool here. Instead of finding the, courage, wherewithal, whatever it is, to say, oh, I'm just not going to pay for that as president. We're not doing it. Instead of finding that courage in order to be, even if you want to do it for it's not going to be the humanitarian effort, you save the money.
Right. Make it a financial situation.
Make it a financial situation, because that's what y'all got to do sometimes.
This is fiscally irresponsible.
It's fiscally irresponsible. And the responsible thing to do is, while you are making promises to your citizens, have a way to pay for it. Stop sending our money to murder people. What America does is murder and destabilize around the globe, and then tell you that we need better borders. We are the reason people cannot live where they are from. This government, the reason that people cannot stay, the reason there's so much violence and destabilization, we are. And then we want to talk about praying for peace? Praying for peace? We're literally paying to not have it.
We're funding it.
We're funding it. And so to your point, Ambush, of it, this is every American president, and it's going to be, you're right, it has been. And still, at some point, we can't just be like, well, I guess it's just going to be that then.
No, you're right.
You're because right. This is how it continues. And if we are right now watching multiple genocides, there's not just one, as if one wouldn't be enough. But even if we just stick at that one, right? We are watching this happen. And I'm going to continue to use this I remember being like, what were the people doing when slavery was happening? Why did they let that happen? Why are we letting this happen? And I know that we feel powerless, and I know it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot we can do. If we were united in this and we stopped all the ways that America makes its money for a week, I don't even think it would take that long. There would be movement.
What you're talking about is an actual strategy, an effective one.
Well, it's not even a full strategy, but it's a thing that needs to happen. Just
that, the imagination.
Well, but I'm not the only one who thinks that, right?
Yeah.
I just want to be clear. There are thousands of people organizing who are trying to get people united on this. And the fact that you have to try and unite people on anti-war, anti-genocide is wild. And the amount of money that's going in to say that anti-war, anti-genocide protesters are terrorists. The fact that we're still talking about, well, yeah, Israel's got a right to defend itself. October 7th did in fact happen. We're about to be at October 7th.
Yeah, we are.
This is bad news bears. And we're over here like from the window to the wall.
Walls. I guess a more succinct way of my point is that ceasefire and ending the genocide is not on the ballot. It's literally not on the ballot. That's not even up for consideration for either party. That's not going to be. That's not the game that they're playing. When you mentioned BlackRock earlier, it's like, do people understand that relationship? I'm not saying do our listeners understand it, but do people actually understand the mechanisms that are in place, that are responsible? When you just mentioned now, like stopping the dollar, like we could go on forever. And this was News with My Fiancé, brought to you by Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush and our illustrious podcast editor, Kyle G. Thank you so much for all the engagement this morning. The playlist is updated. All the music is in there.
Can I read one text before
You had the look in your eye. You had a twinkle in your eyes.
I did. I needed to end on this. Last text says, y'all are so refreshing. Thanks for always giving the real, even when it's sad and hard news to deliver. I appreciate that because I'm over here worked.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Amber.
Don't let the individual distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People of the profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we are all free. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.